Might as well.
At this point, I was expecting if you don't do it, then pain will. Choices don't mean anything in this world.
That's true. I guess I'd better, or we'll never get anywhere. Your Majesty, please allow me to explain the procedure. First, we lawyers listen carefully to a witness's testimony. Then we touch, present, or press R to open the court record and examine the evidence.
And why would you do that?
To find and present any evidence that is inconsistent with the statements given.
Present? I certainly don't need any gifts for present. Damn it. Those words are pronounced differently.
Clearly. Well, they're in a different country, so maybe he's having trouble with... the
Khura'inese accent.
Yeah.
In the English translation of a Japanese game.
Clearly. Something is getting lost in translation with His Majesty. The point is, it's possible that a statement could contain a lie, or a mistake.
But what do you do if you can't find any inconsistencies in a witness's testimony?
In that case, we press the L button to press the witness for more information. Pressing a statement might reveal new information, or even entirely new statements.
Presenting evidence is one thing, but pressing witnesses? I'll have you know, defense, that I do not allow violence in my courtroom!
Rest assured, only gentle verbal pressure is used. No physical force involved.
Well, I'm not convinced. After all, who knows what sort of tactics an attorney will resort to? One false move, and I'll call the bailiff.
Yeah, something's definitely getting lost in there. For now, I should just focus all of my energy on questioning Albie and comparing his statements with the information in the court record. I've never seen that treasure box with a green Khura'inese butterfly on it.
I've never seen the thing I am describing perfectly to you.
Objections!
Oh, Albie, why would you lie to me? So you say you've never laid eyes on the treasure box, is that right?
That's right. It's forbidden, so I'd never do that.
In that case, how did you know there was a green butterfly on it?
Huh? Because I saw the picture of it in that newspaper article.
Nope, take another look. These photos are in black and white. You couldn't possibly tell what color the butterfly is from these pictures.
Ah!
Did his bag just move?
Polkunka!
I beg your pardon.
Polkunka is a word in Khura'inese that people use when they're surprised.
You just exposed a lie. So this is the power of cross-examination, is it?
I should be the one shocked here by your shocking lack of understanding.
But, just a moment. If the accused was lying, then that just makes him more suspicious than ever.
And this just makes things worse for me than ever. Albie, are you hiding something? Please give only true statements. I can't help you if you don't tell the truth. Darn, I just can't seem to get him to open up to me.
So, accused, you have seen the treasure box with your own eyes after all, haven't you?
Well, maybe I did take a peek one time, a long time ago, when I was cleaning the treasure room.
But you weren't in the treasure room at the time of the incident, right?
Of course I wasn't.
God damn it, Albie.
That is a lie. You were most definitely inside the treasure room on the day of the incident. And I have proof.
He does.
This was found on the floor of the treasure room. It's a scroll entitled Notice and contains a list of temple monk duties. These instructions pertain to the day of the incident.
And what is that supposed to prove?
The accused's fingerprints were found on the scroll.
What? Oh no! Where is it? It's not here. I must have dropped it somewhere.
Indeed, you must have dropped it when you were busy murdering the victim!
No. That means Albie was there on the day of the incident?
So this is the power of cross-examination. The more the accused talks, the guiltier he paints himself.
Yes, it would seem so, your majesty.
You predicted my argument and had evidence ready to refute it.
How is any of that supposed to help the accused?
See? I told you! You can't trust lawyers and their lies!
Benevolence already said the kid's guilty. Just declare him guilty and get it over with. No, everything's going all wrong. Shando, what do I do? As I suspected, this cross-examination session has served no purpose whatsoever.
No, you're wrong.
But armed as we are with her benevolence's insight, there's no reason to doubt his guilt.
Then I guess I'll just have to poke holes in this inside of hers.
By the way, this didn't prove to be very interesting at all, Mr. Payne. Nevertheless, I will now finally announce my verdict.
Wait just one moment, your majesty. I haven't seen this divination seance for myself yet. As the defense, I have the right to check it.
Is that really necessary? I have to get home and apologize to my wife.
I guess she really did give him the business.
Your majesty, I enthusiastically support having Mr. Wright see the seance.
You do? And why is that, Mr. Payne?
Don't you want to see it? See the lawyers being utterly crushed by the power of the seance? And then watch him tearfully beg for mercy?
Well, now...
I'm sure it will make up for not getting to go to that class with your wife.
It certainly does sound worth seeing, and it'd give me that juicy tidbit to tell the missus.
I've been reduced to a juicy tidbit.
Well, for an interloper, I imagine you do have to see it for yourself to be convinced. It's certainly unprecedented, but let's have the divination seance performed again. But then, right after the tearful begging, I really do have to be going.
The only tearful begging is going to come from the prosecution when we're through.
How pitiful the defense looks, still scrambling desperately for a foothold, blissfully unaware that defeat and despair are all that await him.
There she is, her benevolence.
Your benevolence, Rafa Padma Khura'in. Thank you for coming all this way once again.
Rafa Padma. Is that a pun? I don't know.
I don't know.
Your gratitude is unnecessary. This is simply my duty. Bob-headed attorney. Yes? I am told you question the veracity of the sacred divination seance. It would seem the depths of your irreverence and blasphemy are lost on you. I'm just a foreigner, ignorant in the ways and customs of this country. I apologize in advance for anything rude I might say or do, Your Benevolence. All I want is a fair trial for Albie.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair? Do explain, outsider. How could this be unfair? How verdicts founded on the truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality?
What's fair about trials with no defense and no chance for the accused to tell their story?
How dare you speak to Her Benevolence in that manner?
Did you hear that? Did you hear how he talked to Her Benevolence?
What does he know about anything, ignorant outsider?
We won't stand for it. He must be punished.
Yikes, look like I'm really stuck my foot in it this time.
Punish him!
Punish him! Punish him! Jesus.
Silence, one and all!
Is she standing up for me?
Be not disquieted, my people. He merely expresses his opinion.
Well, looks like Her Benevolence is going to be more reasonable than I thought.
Attorneys are ghastly creatures, with souls stained black by brazen untruths. The words of a lowly worm such as that are not worth troubling yourselves over.
Alright, I take that back.
None of his prattling can sway the truth of my insights. Rest assured, he will soon see the error of his foolish ways.
Now then, Your Benevolence, the divination seance, if you would.
Certainly. Nina, my robe.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Or the Well of Souls.
Well, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
This is, Phoenix really shouldn't have stepped in where he didn't belong.
I like how her outfit is like half shrine maiden and half cheerleader.
Yes.
I also like how she has the Tenchi, the Khura'in face marks, like a Tenchi Muyo alien girl.
You mean Diva? She has Diva's things on her face.
Oh. I'm not very timely with my references. You know, I'd be really weirded out if the character on her back was Japanese, but it doesn't appear to be. As you can see, the accused is guilty.
Obviously.
Oh shit, magic.
What's happening?
those were the victim's final memories.
Okay.
What just happened? An image appeared in the pool. What kind of fucking magic is this?
It's a final message from the victim's soul. The last communication of his mitama. I was just distracted by the divine beauty of the seance. The divination seance has revealed this to us.
Her benevolence can use her power of spirit communion to project her victims' memories of the last few moments before their demise.
So what he saw in the pool is what Mr. Roll actually experienced?
In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head. This is consistent with the findings of the police investigation.
There has to be some kind of mistake. I didn't do it.
This looks bad for Albie. Really, really bad. Though I did notice that we did not see the moment of death, or the moment of the murder.
Now, do you see why I'm the incredible pain?
More than I can express. But even if those really are the victim's last memories, what can I do with them?
There it is, the face of a man being utterly crushed. Oh, how I've waited to see it. Isn't it wonderfully gratifying, Your Majesty?
Oh, yes, very satisfying indeed. Now are you finally convinced, traveler? The accused is most assuredly guilty.
Am I really the only unbiased one here?
Now then, I think we've been amused enough. If you give up now, I won't even invoke the Defense Culpability Act against you. You'd be free to slink back to your own country with your tail between your legs.
The Defense Culpability Act? What the fuck's that?
What? You mean you honestly don't know?
No. Oh, what's with all the hubbub?
Well, well, not only is he a lying, black-hearted lawyer, he's also an imbecile. Your Majesty, I think you'd better explain the Defense Culpability Act to him.
Yes, I think I'd better. The Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act for short, is as follows. In the name of her evidence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In other words, if you help the accused by defending him and he is found guilty, you will receive the same sentence as he.
I think that's fair. That's a pretty good idea, honestly.
I can see the merits of that. What? What kind of insane law is that?
Under the DC Act, many an attorney has been convicted and met with a grim fate. Some went to prison, others received the death penalty. That's why there are so few in our country today who admit to being an attorney.
That's as it should be. The history of our courts proves that.
You're like 14, and it's been 20 years since you've even seen it, like an attorney's been in the country, so what the fuck?
Attorneys are black-souled creatures who would tell any lie to save the accused. Thus, attorneys deserve to be exterminated!
Yeah. Delete.
Delete. I've never felt so much hostility coming at me from all sides. What could have happened to make everyone feel this way?
You fell into my trap, Phoenix Wright! Your win streak against me and my brother ends today! With the seance and the DC Act on my side, I'll finally get my revenge!
So that's why he was so eager to have me defend Albie.
Chased out and humiliated back home, fate brought me to the foothills of Khura'in. I thank my lucky stars that I'm chief prosecutor here now.
Defense, know that if I rule that the accused is guilty, you will go to prison too.
That explains Alby's reaction earlier.
Defend me, Mr. Wright. What are you saying? You can't do that. For some reason I was expecting to hear my voice because it's flashback.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. In a twisted way.
Your Majesty, isn't a prison sentence a bit lenient? After all, we're talking about treason.
Oh my god, you're such a fucker.
One should pay for such a crime with one's life.
Yes. I believe the death penalty might be appropriate under these circumstances.
Yeah, that certainly wouldn't be an international incident if a foreigner got the death penalty for defending a client. The death penalty? No way! You're kidding, right, Your Majesty?
Ha 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 ha! Do you hear me laughing? Do I look like I'm kidding? I'll have you put your life and your dark, tainted soul on the line here.
Death? This can't be happening.
The courts of resignation. Our courts are well known as thus. In this land, where my seances provide the truth and no attorneys can intervene, criminals know that all they can do is resign themselves to their fate.
Oh, foreign lawyer, I ask you once more. Are you sure you still want to defend the accused?
Well, there's Maya to think about in all this, too. I can't just lay down my life. What in the world should I do? Continue the defense? Abandon the defense.
Yeah, skip the rest of the tutorial.
That's... I don't think that's what would happen. Alright. I have to... Because there are plenty of bad ends in Phoenix Wright, so we'll see. A trial I just happened to walk into, in a country I just happened to visit. How can I put my life on the line for something like this?
I appreciate what you're trying to do, Mr. Wright, but never mind about me. You just go ahead and go see Miss Maya.
But what about Albie?
She's kind of like a big sister to me. Oh, the good times we had.
And times we'll have in the future, I hope.
Such a long, happy life I have ahead of me. That's what Miss Maya always says.
Isn't this why I became a lawyer in the first place? To help those with no one on their side? I can't just abandon everything I believe in. All I can do now is stand firm and fight. What a choice.
Well, hold your tears back on my account, Mr. Wright. Admit your defeat and grovel before me, the chief prosecutor, for your life.
Even if it means being subject to the DCA. I will defend Albie!
What?
But Mr. Wright!
The defendant insists he's innocent, and not even a divination seance should be accepted without examination. Frame rate's chugging just a little.
Polkanaka! What's the word?
Okay, something like that? Fuck.
But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. Believe in the me that believes in you, Albie. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it. Barbed-headed attorney, you continue to amuse me. Though your barbed jabs are proving to be more than mere jokes. Your benevolence. Believe me when I say that this attorney will knock your insides out. Insolent, disrespectful attorney! You'll have plenty of time to regret your folly in the Shadow Realm!
Not a wise move, traveler. Not wise at all. You should have taken the chance I offered to save your life. But you have made your choice. The Defense Culpability Act will be applied in this case. And with this verdict, you'll both soon be parting with your heads.
That's a sign of a just court.
They just keep going.
The souls of the departed speak only the truth, and I but give their messages a voice. If you think my insights contain a falsehood, I challenge you to prove it! Oh, insight. The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. Oh yeah, that's the mark of a good case, whatever he was holding. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. This is when he lost his life. Still, I can't believe it. A murder after the morning dance of devotion. These are the victim's experiences just before his death. As the victim's final memories, we can assume they aren't lies. So how do I break this down? Allow me to relieve you of your ignorance, you piece of shit. Did you notice the words that appeared in the seance vision? Come to think of it, I did see words like Song of Ceremony and Incense. The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone. Sight, smell, taste, sound, and touch. All is laid bare in the pool of souls. Though we don't know what he heard other than like a vague description of it.
We know he heard the boy's voice.
Yeah. So what Mr. Roll experienced with his 5 senses appears in the vision as words, right? Precisely, and by examining these sensations, we can perceive the victim's final moments with unparalleled clarity. Unparalleled compared to, the other versions of the seance. Works for me. I can use all the extra information I can get. Now, to find a contradiction between her insights and the seance vision. He rolls with this so easily. Your benevolence. I ask that you please show me the seance vision again. Very well. Song of Ceremony, boy's voice. Yeah, I can't see if he's even holding anything.
I think he's guilty.
You do?
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck, it looks like we're screwed then. This is... I guess they were really... You know, Apollo Justice didn't really pan out as the new main character, but, you know, maybe now they'll accept him once Phoenix is dead. Oh. Okay, let's,
We know it's happening during the Dance of Devotion, right? Not afterwards.
Yeah.
We can hear the song.
Good job. I was messing with the camera and you've figured out the contradiction already. Now I just select the sensation I think is inconsistent, and present it!
Objection!
Wait just a moment. Yes, what is it, bobbed head? You're saying the incident occurred after the morning dance of devotion, right? That's right. What of it? Then isn't it strange that Mr. Roll could still hear the Song of Ceremony?
Oh my, you're absolutely right. He was murdered during the Dance of Devotion. I still find him guilty, obviously.
Huh. Is that all that troubles you, you piece of shit? Huh? What the victim heard was just a practice run of the Song of Ceremony. Practice run? Oh, fuck, this contradiction didn't pan out very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Certainly. Allow me to explain. The incident occurred in the interval between the morning and afternoon dances. During that time, the singers were practicing in the performance hall.
Precisely. I was there as well, so I can corroborate this statement.
I see, so what the victim heard was that practice session.
Ugh. There goes my contradiction. Okay, so they were practicing in this performance hall. That must be the room where Albie and I saw her benevolence dancing.
However, Mr. Payne, I admit one detail troubles me.
Wait, you're actually going to...
Did they use incense in the practice version?
Ask away, your majesty.
It's a big temple. The performance hall and treasure room are quite far from each other. Could the song really be heard all the way in the treasure room?
He's right. It is a very big temple. Well, how about it, Mr. Payne?
And now you see why we don't need defense attorneys. I've got this covered.
Your majesty, have you forgotten? There are speakers in every room of Temple, including the treasure room.
Oh, that's right. And we run the speakers for the practice run.
Speakers for what purpose?
Are you serious, Mr. Wright? They're to broadcast the sacred music of the performance hall throughout the temple.
That's why the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony in the seance vision. It was the practice run going on in the performance hall, heard over the speakers.
Thank you for your explanation, your benevolence. That makes perfect sense, even to a feeble-minded old man like myself.
Think nothing of it.
Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please alter your insights for us?
Very well. I'll alter my test of insight.
I think I'm beginning to understand these game mechanics.
I think I can So this is basically like a cross-examination, but I pointed at things in a video. Got it. Maybe I can knock out all of her insights after all, and then punch her in the face.
No violence in my courtroom!
I'd better find another inconsistency, no matter how small. It's a bit hard to focus on the insights with the seance vision going. I'll try using the pause button to temporarily stop the vision. Ah, yes, the pause tile they have next to the pool. Okay. There, I paused the vision. I think I can touch the flashing panels, Y and A, to jump to different parts of the vision. I'll try moving the metamum mark to the flashing red panel there. Okay, now that I know how to get around in the seance visions, it's time to find inconsistencies between the insights and the visions. Okay. Let's go ahead and just pause it. The accused swung whatever was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. Ah! That's inconsistent. How do I present this?
Can you play? It breaks into fifths. Can you play that fifth to see that whole section? Because we see the vision goes dark before the pain. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if I should present that before the pain. I think probably. Yeah.
But then what do you click on? The darkness?
I present the darkness!
It's a little brighter.
Objection!
You're saying the victim's field of vision went dark after he was struck, correct? Of course, as anyone with eyes can see. Well, pardon me, but I must disagree. What? Your benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain. Oh, fuck! Everything goes black, and then, only after that, the victim feels pain. Inconceivable! This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened. My word! You sack of shit!
Volkanka! Your benevolence! What is the meaning of this?
I cannot be wrong! My insights are beyond fallacy! This calls our entire religion into question!
If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed. Please forgive me your benevolence, but I'm afraid this contradiction is something we simply can't ignore.
Now, let's not be too hasty, Your Majesty. I think I can clear this up.
You have something to add, Mr. Payne?
1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make one tiny thing clear.
And what would that be?
On the day of the incident, there was a power outage, a blackout in one part of the temple. And as I recall, the crime scene was in that sector. The power outage must have been why the victim's field of vision went dark. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this detail. I'm afraid it slipped my mind. Ha ha ha.
Or rather, you knew all along, and are only letting it slip now that it's convenient, Payne.
The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers. Oh, there was a blackout. There, was there? Well, now, that explains everything, does it not?
What do you mean, your benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us as to why the song is still audible if the lights went out.
The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another. Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head.
I see, that makes perfect sense, your benevolence. How could I have doubted my faith?
So the victim was struck after the lights went out. The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, your benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone!
Well done! Live long and prosper! Hey, I want to live long and prosper too. Enough applause. You flatter me.
Now, your benevolence, in light of this new information.
Yes, of course, I will alter my insight. So much for my inconsistency. At least I was able to draw out some new info. New info, new inconsistencies. Now to compare my insights with the vision again, see what else I can dig up. That's pretty easy. Oh wait, I need to select the right statement. Whoopsie.
I guess there you go. I guess one of those.
Probably the, well...
Because they're both relevant?
They are.
But I guess the third one makes more sense. Since it specifically references the song and the speakers.
I bet that they actually programmed it so that both would be fine.
I should hope so.
Objection!
They're bad about that sometimes, though. Yes, I've found it. This is the gaping hole I've been looking for. That's what he said. Your benevolence, as impressive as your spirit communion power is not infallible. Jesus, do you have to really fuck with their religion? You never know when to stop talking, do you? I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Khura'inism.
Defense, watch what you say. If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind.
Jesus. Not barbaric at all here. It's certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums. But maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking.
May live Khura'in's tongue.
What malarkey! I believe you said a few moments ago that the victim could hear the song of ceremony thanks to the temple's fucking speakers. But then, how do you explain how the victim could still hear the song of ceremony even after the power went out? Oh, wow. This contradiction of facts can only mean that the song of ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers.
What? Impossible!
Well, what are you saying? That the song he heard was coming directly from the performance hall?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation.
But the scene of the crime was nowhere near the performance hall.
Right. The song couldn't make it all the way to the treasure room. Not unless... You mean to say? Yes, the treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime. It must have been somewhere else, somewhere closer to the performance hall.
What?
You can't be serious.
There is a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence and the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined and that your religion is a sham.
What? No!
This is completely unprecedented. An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights? Unbelievable. Inconceivable!
Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty. Those are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind.
But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable. I can't. We can't just turn a blind eye to it.
But the defense's assertion, in the end, meaningless. Even if the location of the murder turned out to be different, it doesn't change what we've seen on the moment of the murder. Indeed, the accused is standing right here in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes this situation look really grim for Albie.
I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why. The accused has his hands up over his head.
Well, the defense dares to dream of making out of this nightmare alive.
You what? You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim. Remember what will happen to that tongue of yours if we find you are just wagging it.
Of course I can back up my claim. Just as soon as I think of something.
You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of this court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim. As long as you're willing to stake your life on it.
Oh.
I concur, your majesty. Prepare the tongue shears. Chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
Yes, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop, chop.
Stop.
I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare. I'm sure he won't miss one.
Yikes, these people are fucking crazy. I'm rather attached to my tongue. Think, Phoenix, think. I'm finally gonna get punished for all the bluffing I do. Other than raise a weapon, why would Albie have held his hands up like that? Being held at gunpoint, Albie tends to raise his hands.
He has this nervous tick when someone points a gun at him.
So that's why. The reason the defendant has his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains why Albie has hands raised above his head? The fucking gun! Oh, jeez, this is a little ticky.
Take that!
As in the seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both his hands over his head yesterday.
You did? Where did you see such a thing?
When the police had their guns trained on them as they made their arrest.
Oh, are you saying?
The victim was a security guard, and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Albie. And that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air. Her hair loop saved her from hitting her head on that hard stone.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought the seance's vision could be interpreted that way?
This is not possible. I got back up. It can't be! Not bad for a total knockout.
She's 14, Phoenix.
That's not what I meant, goddammit! He's no better than a traitorous snake who pervs on children! Traitorous snake? Dirk? Who the fuck is Dirk?
No, I can't believe it. A contradiction in one of my insights. There has to be some kind of mistake. I I won't accept it. That's right, your benevolence, and I won't accept it either. It goes against all we hold sacred. Throw him in jail immediately for lay majesty.
What? You just used some fucking French on me?
Yeah, you said it. Throw him in jail.
Yes, make him pay for the way he disrespected her benevolence.
These people are definitely not my fans right now.
That's right. Exterminate him.
Exterminate!
Annihilate!
Peace. Give me peace. I said peace.
It's like saying order, but different.
Now everyone, please calm down.
Is he?
Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment.
No, I can't charge him with that word, lay majesty.
What?
Or less majesty, or laissez majesté.
What? But why not, your Majesty?
He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused. There's nothing unlawful about that.
But, your Majesty, don't you want to wrap up this trial quickly? Why not just give us a verdict? Then you can go home and make it up to your wife.
We can't end the trial now, not when we just learned new information about the case.
What? Your Majesty, not you too. You're abiding by evidence in a court of law. You would honestly entertain the idea that my insight contains a contradiction?
Truly, it is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has never occurred. To be honest, I didn't want to believe it either. But with his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency. And it is our duty to scrutinize it to the satisfaction of the law.
You dare go against the royal priestess, you non-believer?
No, my faith is as strong as ever. But I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. If you insist on interfering with that process, your benevolence, I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not.
What? I'll have you know.
Your benevolence! Please acquiesce in this, your benevolence.
Yeah.
If looks could kill.
Dude!
God damn it, another fucking...
I won't forget this offense, bobbed head sonic fucker. I do not admit defeat. I won't.
Bailiff, please see her benevolence out.
Your Mitama will face due retribution in the Shadow Realm. The demons there, they'll pluck your bobs right off your stupid head. I hope your suffering will be super duper painful. and I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire. Yeah, and then I hope they pluck your penis off.
Dude.
I guess she's still a teenager after all.
Tune in next time to see if Phoenix is executed for defying the state-mandated religion. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe. We have a lot more planned to come, including loads of VR content, even more when we get a second headset, and our new series, Next Gen Drinking Games, where we combine alcohol and gaming in inventive ways.